Welcome to Spotlight, shining a light on the ideas, culture, and people of the Spartan community.
Hello, I'm your host, Meiting Liu. Have you ever wondered what it's like to perform in front of a crowd of people or learning to play an instrument in the first place? Well, I'm here today with Tyler Stinchcomb as he shares what it's like to play drums for Element Church. Tyler, good to have you here.
All right.
And could you tell me how old were you when you started drumming?
Yeah, I got my first drum set when I was 10 years old.
Okay, so what first made you interested in playing drums?
What first got me interested in drums was definitely my dad had a big influence on that. He constantly played rock music all around the house, so I really liked listening to the drum beats and everything in rock music. And then going to church and I would stare right at the drummer during the entire service and just watch him. And my best friend when I was a kid, his brother was the church's drummer, so I really spent a lot of time with him and was like, all right, I want to be like him. I want to be that drummer.
That's cool. So how did you start and how did you learn to play?
It started with getting my first drum set when I was 10 years old, and then I started with lessons. I only did lessons for maybe a couple months, and then I started just teaching myself and just a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of just sitting in the basement and just playing for as long as I can and just figuring things out on my own. And I think that's what really made me better, is just learning on my own.
Yeah, good for you. So I believe you brought in a photo of you on today you first got a drum set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and could you tell me how you felt about it?
Yeah, I was really excited that day. That was my birthday. My parents woke me up like, come downstairs. Go downstairs, and there's a whole drum set. I'm so excited, but also like a huge feeling of like, all right, now what the heck do I even do? Like, I don't know how to set it up. It's so new to me. I just hit the drums like, oh yeah, I'm playing the drums.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
Yeah, I see it. And so, do you play any other instrument?
Yeah, I do. I play piano, the ukulele, and I'm learning bass right now too.
Okay, so were you in band class in school?
I was. I played about 3 years of trombone, 5th through 7th grade, and then 8th grade I switched to play percussion. In high school I didn't play anything.
Oh, that's really a long time. And what type of music do you listen to most?
I listen to a lot of things. I guess I could break it down. About 90% of what I listen to is probably worship music.
Okay.
And then 5% Christian rap, 2.5% country, and then the last would be like 60s, 70s music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a certain style you like to play the most?
Mostly it's just copying like worship bands and playing like more rock. If I had on my own free time, I love playing like Southern Texas rock drums, like Leon Bridges, his music. Just playing like the kind of slow gospel, heavy bass, a lot of snare drums. Sounds really nice.
Oh, that's really cool. And is there anyone you look up to or admire?
For when it comes to drums, I look up to a lot just different churches and different leaders of the churches, like Stephen Furtick of Elevation and Stephen Chandler of Destiny Church. Those guys I really looked up to in the past year of just how they lead the church and how they lead the worship bands playing the church.
So if you could have any band's drum set, whose it will be?
Any band's drum set. I think definitely Elevation Church's drum set. It's amazing. It's made specifically for them. They have these super expensive cymbals they're like sideways, like no other drummer plays with a cymbal tilted sideways, and there's holes in it, and it's just very, very cool.
Okay, so I hear you actually play with a band at Element Church, and could you tell me a little about that?
Yeah, so I play with Element. I've been playing with them since January, about every Sunday, and it's been awesome.
Okay, so we'll be back in a moment to learn more about Tyler's experience. But first, this message.
Ever wonder where courage comes from? Where one finds the strength to believe in solutions that seem impossible? It takes a Spartan's will, to understand that by working together we can solve the world's biggest problems, from renewable energy to fighting malaria. After all, if we don't do it, who will? Spartans will.
Okay. We're back with my guest Tyler. And so could you tell me more about your favorite drummer or artist?
Favorite drummer is probably Ringo Starr of the Beatles. It's an unpopular opinion, but I think he's the glue that holds them all together. And Beatles are one of my favorite bands of all time, so I love listening to them and hearing the drums. He's one of the players that I really listened to as a kid. I don't know the name of the drummer too, but the drummer for Ted Nugent. That was the band that my dad played all the time.
Okay.
He was a big Ted fan. And so I'm just used to that style of drumming and learning that, and that's what really inspired me.
Okay, so it looks like we have a video recorded of you playing your basement. Okay, so that's very cool. So what's the song you beat?
It was no song, just kind of improv. Drumming is an improv instrument, so it's kind of whatever I'm feeling at the moment and just going with it. As long as you stay on beat, it's going to sound good.
Okay.
So that's kind of just a mix of different genres, just playing around. Anytime I'm warming up for any set, I just kind of try to get a feel around the whole set and just play around and just get warmed up, and that's kind of just stuff I do, some fun beats.
Okay, that's very cool. So do you have any fans of because it's really cool, you know?
Fans?
Yeah.
No, I mostly play just for my church and churches and everything. I used to play in a couple bands in high school, but I really enjoy playing on stage for churches and just directing all of the music and everything that we're doing up to God, which is, you know, what a worship band is for.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I hear that you are living with your roommate, right? So do you have a drum set in your apartment?
I do, yeah. We have a drum set in our basement. It's kind of a hodgepodge set with half of one of my roommates' drum set, and then some of my cymbals that I brought back from my house.
Okay.
So I had a pretty nice drum set that I invested a lot of years and a lot of money in.
Thank you.
It's a very expensive drum set.
Thank you. So when we return, we will talk about Tyler's latest gig. But first, this message. Hi, we're back talking with our guest Tyler. And so you just talked something about your band at Element Church, and how do you get connected with them?
Yeah, I started going to Element in August, just because it was close to my house. I was looking for a new church and started going to them, and it was really getting stirred up in my heart. It was like, all right, it's time to get back and playing drums for a church. So I started talking with the worship director there, and then I did like a kind of interview thing, and started playing with them during rehearsals, and then I was like, all right, this is a fit for me. So we started playing in January, and it's been awesome.
Okay, and so can you tell us more about what goes into a performance and how much work is it?
Yeah, there's a lot that actually goes into every Sunday. It's a volunteer position, so we spend a lot of time, and it's everyone a part of the worship set is very passionate in what they do. I spend probably 3 to 4 hours a week. I try to do sometimes 5 hours a week just practicing on my own time. And then every Thursday we have a rehearsal for the worship set on Sunday, just perfecting everything. So when we come in on Sunday, we're done. We know everything. It's gonna be smooth. So it's a lot of work, especially when there's a new song involved. We're learning a new song this week, and you gotta invest a couple extra hours in just to make sure that you know the song. So when it comes time to play in front of the congregation, there's no mess ups.
Okay, so we have a logo here for Element Church. Was there anything you like to say about it?
Yeah, Element Church is a fantastic place to go. We meet at the Kellogg Center, which is right across from Brody. It's on campus. Really nice location, and we meet at 10:30 a.m. Every Sunday. And I know Easter's coming up. We actually have 2 services, 9:30 and 11:30 on Easter Sunday. And it's gonna be really cool. So if anyone wants to come, they're totally welcome.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to to that, and maybe someday I will come. So
Cool.
And this has been very interesting. However, our time is running short. I'd like to thank our guest Tyler for being with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome.
Yeah, that is all for today, and take care.
Thanks for watching. Spotlight is a production of MSU Media and Information and was produced and directed entirely by Michigan State University students. Join us next time for more Spotlight.